So our last example is graphs of equations in the form a sine of n theta or a sine cosine n theta. These are called Rose curves. And the rule we follow here is if n is odd, the curve has n petals, and if n is even, the curve has 2 n petals. So let's take a look at r equal 3 cosine of 2 theta. We know the maximum length, or the length of each petal, is going to be 3. And since it's a 2 theta, we know we're going to have double that number of petals, so we're going to have 4 petals, and they're all going to be equally spaced. So for a cosine, think about when the maximum cosine, we're going to get the maximum cosine when theta is equal to 0. So our first petal is going to look like that. When we reach pi over 4, we're going to be at the origin there. Scale wasn't very good there, but those petals should all be equal in length, and they all have a length of 3. If we look at 2 sine of 3 theta, our petals are going to be 2 units long, or 2 units in length. We're going to have 3 petals, and they will be equally spaced as well. So in this case, we're going to have our first petal at pi over 6. Our petals have to be equally spaced, so they're going to be 120 degrees apart. And our graph will look like that. So just to think about how we locate these, this is not a very good. These should be of equal length there. They don't really look like it, but this one. This is why I'm not a geometry teacher, I guess. I don't have much artistic ability. So we need to think about, okay, well, why is our petal at its maximum length at pi over 6? Well, we're talking about 3 theta here, right? We know that the sine has a maximum value at pi over 2, and since we're talking about 3 theta, we're going to have our maximum petal length when 3 theta is equal to pi over 2. So that gives us pi over 6 as our angular measurement. That's going to give us our maximum petal length. And likewise over here, when we talk about the cosine, we know we get a maximum at 0. So this coefficient doesn't really matter there. 2 times 0 is still 0. But we're going to get a cosine of 0. Cosine equals 0 when our angular measurement equals pi over 2. So when 2 theta equals pi over 2, theta here is going to equal pi over 4. So when we have a pi over 4 here, we're going to take the cosine of 2 times pi over 4. That's going to give us a 0. That's what brings us back here to that origin there.